So I thought I'd show off this little aeroponics system while it's in operation. And you can see in here, hopefully you can see that, coming out of there shooting. There's that sprayer, and down inside of there is my little pump. And that's a 264 gallon pump per minute pump that I'm running right here. 20 bucks, that's how much this one cost. And I just use an extension nozzle with a garden shrub sprayer, standard thing like that. So this one over here is my version 2, which is the little, you can see it working in there too, hopefully. I don't know if you can or not, but yeah, that one right in there, that one's working too. Basically the same setup. I had to crank down the nozzle a little bit, but these little pots, now on the larger ones, my 3-inch, they're the same way. I cut the bottoms out of them, and you might have heard that it turned off. And I just use a little circle hole cutter, and these have a lip on them. Now these ones over here, you'll see that orange tape on them. That's a friction tape, and I had to put a lip on those so they wouldn't fall through, but it works really good. But yeah, these just drop, you just come right in, drop them in, and you can either use, like I've got these from a local shop, or the blue ones that you see in here, I just cut with the same circle hole cutter that I made these holes with. All of these blue ones in here. And my system here runs on a 30 minute on, 30 minute off. And I just run this really low volt LED bulb. It's a grow bulb, but I put these under this intense one right here. This is my full spectrum. And I've got some plants under there, and these things are growing fast underneath this LED. So I'm going to actually lower the LED just a little bit on them. And these are some plants that I got from Ed Curry. And I do got some in here. This STRL from Jim Duffy, and I'm trying to pump them up because they're a little slow to go at first, but this light is really enhancing them, and they're growing a lot faster under this light versus what I've got out there. So yeah, this is what I'm doing with my cuttings, and like this one here, you can see the roots coming off of it. And Aeroponics and that's what they do. These things, they just float in here, and you can see there's nothing but that foam disc in there that's holding it in place, and then it's sprayed with what I use is a reverse osmosis type water, and I put in the recommended dosage of some Super Thrive and CalMag, because this is a reverse osmosis water and it's run through a filter. That means it doesn't really have anything in it. What I did here recently is I added a little bit of this Mammoth P into this solution, and the one thing I noticed is that the ones that hadn't been messing around, they hadn't been taken off much, I'm starting to see some nodes forming up where the roots are coming in. You can see that one. Look at that thing in there. You can see it in all those nodes, and the roots are starting to take off. So I know that the Mammoth P has had an effect on it, because they were kind of stalled for a while. But since I put that Mammoth P in there with the Super Thrive, basically what you want is a little B1 and a little CalMag, because you got to remember when you do that. And then the other thing that I do, just as an FYI, take this is nothing more than pure water, and I mist them. So just give them a little misting. Maybe whenever I think about it, I come in here and I do it. All I do is give them a light misting like that, and that allows them to absorb some water through the top. I don't do a lot with it, but that's about all I do. And by the way, that light right there is called you can see there, a Bloom Spect. It's a 300 watt LED. It's stronger than I thought it was going to be. It only cost me $49 through Amazon, free shipping. And I'll tell you what, that thing kicks out some light. And I got it too close to these one time, and darn near killed them. I tell you, man, it's a more powerful light than you think it is. And I've been impressed with it. It's give you a little bit of, these things were really kind of short, and a couple of them almost got burnt by a little action. They were watering them out, doing me a favor, and they put them out and they watered them, left them out in the direct sun, and they had been in the greenhouse just kind of healing anyway, and darn near cooked them to death. So yeah, I've taken off most of the bad leaves, and as new leaves are shooting out, I'm taking off old leaves just to let them grow, because I'm goofing off with them, and I want to see how that LED light grows. And mind you, it's I didn't spend a ton of money on those. Actually, I've got 2 of these, so I spent a total of $98, and that's for growing here in the future as well. And it's actually a really good light. I've been impressed with the intensity of the light, as well as the plant's response to the light. And like I said, these things here are just responding positively. But anyway, back to what I'm actually talking about is this little Aeroponics system. And a pump cost me $20. The bucket with the lid, and this is food grade. Make sure that you do it. It says on it somewhere that it is a food grade. Like, see there, you see that? Because it makes a difference in the way that the bucket is processed. And I got this one at Lowe's, so you get it wherever you want, but I highly recommend you get food grade, or else you may have some issues. Make sure that you clean it really well. Make sure when you're cutting that you clean the blade that you're cutting with, whether it's a razor or scissors. Don't use an old rusty blade. Use a clean blade or a clean pair of scissors, and clean the blade with alcohol. Inside here, I used an old bleach solution. Is what I did is I wiped these down with a bleach solution to kill everything, and I actually ran the pumps with a bleach solution for a few minutes, and then what I did is I ran water in it, and I cycled water, and then I flushed the bucket out about 3 or 4 times just to make sure there was no bleach in there, and then I kept running the pumps through water. Is it take a little time? Yeah, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you have any disease in your pump or in your bucket, it's going to transfer into these plants and they won't take root. So just it's a precautionary thing. Is it a little work? Yeah, you're going to do a little work in the front end, but in the back end you don't have to worry about your plants being diseased. So when they come out, they're gonna be clean and they're not going to be diseased. So just a little show up of what I've got going on here, and yeah, it's not been hard at all. It's pretty much you cut them, you drop them in, and what I did is on these things here, you can see they're not tight. They just set right into there. They set inside the bucket. They go right into here, and you can see now there's water kind of dripping off of there. Well, that's going to sit there and get nothing but air for the next 30 minutes. I have them on a 30-minute on, 30-minute off cycle. So they're going to just sit there for 30 minutes and just take in oxygen. And then in 30 minutes, that pump is going to kick on again on both of these. And they're going to get mist, a spray for 30 minutes, and it's going to shut off. And I've got them on little timers. I got at Harbor Freight, $5 timers. Right here, these little Harbor Freight timers. And I've got it set on cycles, 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off, 24 hours a day, until they root. And once they take root, like this one, you then have the option, once they start getting good roots like that, is you can plant it I'm going to let the roots go a little longer. You can plant it, or you can grow it, continue to grow it aeroponically. And look at that little sucker just, it put out little buds on it since I've had it in here and it started to take root. So yeah, the one thing you got to do is you don't want it to focus on those. So take, and if they start popping up like this, and I'm going to tell you right now, I had this thing clean, no buds on it like that, like these. And if you see them on there, get them off, because right now you don't want the plant going into that phase. Not until it grows up some and starts to get those roots. You want it to focus on root growth, and you want it to focus on growing. This is a veg state. It's a growing state. So if it starts budding up like that, pinch them off, take them off, and make it focus on growing, because that's what you're in. All right, well, this is Harold, and I'm just showing you these things. This is a 5-gallon bucket. Real simple. It's got a rubber gasket seal here. You can see this cord right in here. That's where my pump goes in. And you know what? Every probably, I don't know, 2 weeks you want to change water. But remember, I'm running reverse osmosis water, so it's clean water. My chance of getting bacteria in there is slim to none. Unless, of course, your plants are infected somehow. But none of my plants have shown any signs of disease. So, yeah, once you get them cut, you know, if you find that one healthy, that plant that you just like, dang, I want more of them, you know. I want more pods just like that one's putting out. This is what you do. You cut the clones off of that plant, and then when these grow up, what's going to end up happening is you're going to have a bunch of that plant. It's going to be an exact replica of the plant that you took these clones off of. So you know what you're going to get? You're going to get all these starts. And all of them are going to be an exact replica of the plant you got. You know, instead of this hit and miss, and that's what I'm attempting here, is instead of hit and miss with plants, you know, and going, oh, I hope the seed turns out like that plant that I grew. This guarantees that the plant that you grow from these cuttings is going to be exactly like the plant you took it from. So guess what? Guess what you're going to get? Pods exactly like the plant you took it from. So, you know, hey, just a little tip there. And this is why I'm learning to do this, because I've had it in the past. I've had a plant going, dang, I wish I could replicate it. Well, this is a way, and you're also jumping ahead of the game, because this is a more adult plant. So once the roots catch in, this plant is ahead of the plant that you would do from seeds. It's going to save you time, because look at, you're already starting with vegetation of an adult plant. Guess what's going to happen? You're starting a young adult plant, and it's going to end up being growing faster. You're going to shorten the grow time because you're growing from an adult cutting. So you know what? This is a win-win situation. And this is what I'm trying to do. Once I see a plant that I really like, and this from this Apocalypse Scorpion, this one here, that plant is amazing. It's a beast out there. And I'm glad that I'm getting some cuttings from it. And this one from a Reaper that I got out there, and the same thing. I'm starting to get roots on it, and I'm going to reproduce a Reaper plant that's out there and growing like a stud. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm doing. I'm recreating those plants that I really think are they're prize-winning plants. They're really pushing out pods. They're a healthy plant. They're a great specimen. So I'm going to go ahead and develop more plants just like it. So, all right, well, I'm going to let you go because I'm way over the time here. So this is Harold, and I'm checking out of here. You have a good day and enjoy your grow.